share this out.
Hardy ha!
That goes so fast.
It does. Have you had any chance to do anything with that?
Just a few.
Thank you.
I need to do a few more.
Okay. Because I've done a new background. Hello, everybody. We'll get to everybody in a minute. As you can see, I've done a new background. I did the picture and I put Monday Night Madness and stuff on it. And then, so everybody, tonight we have the lovely Viv, who's with us, who's better now. She's been ill and she's been coughing so hard she's soiled herself frequently. That's why she couldn't do the shows. It was loud, a bit like a brass
I was washing pants.
Yes. So she wasn't really, but so she's just been ill. So she's back now. I just realised how washed out this light makes me look. No, or is it the light from here? Hang on, let me have a look.
I think it's from your computer.
It's the light from the laptop. Right. So what I'll do is I shall put this on my phone, and then I can keep up with all the comments and stuff. So let's go there. Right. Hi, Rita. Hi, Helen. Hi, everybody else. So we were going to have a special one about UFOs tonight with the young lady who produces Wayne's show. Can't for the life of me remember the bloody name of it.
Joe?
Sam. Not Spook and Ori, the other one. She produces that show. She's also part of the Dark Mirror team. And she found some stuff on the internet, just like, do you remember when Wayne and I found that stuff about the Changi Chinese rover?
Yes.
Yeah, the one that looked a bit like Johnny Five Alive. With the eyes like that. Anyway, so the one that we looked at, Wayne and I looked at, there were NASA photos, proper NASA photos, of bombed out buildings and ruined buildings and stuff up on the moon. And apparently it was allegedly buildings that NASA had tried to bomb to flatten so that there was no evidence of there ever having been any buildings or structures on the moon.
But what purpose does that serve, though? I mean...
it's just... It's the man trying to be in control and, like, there is only this world, we have our moon. And yet everybody now knows. I think everybody's at the point where it's like, yeah, they're here, just crack on. Let's crack on with it, you know?
Yeah.
And the sooner these bobberments around the world realise that we're not stupid, we're not thick, and we have reached a point where we're going, we don't believe a word that any of you lot are saying because you're all corrupt, the better. But there's another thing which I'll talk about next week when Sam comes over. Let's just say it's very similar. There is something about a UFO, a very special UFO, and all the stuff that was on the internet has mysteriously vanished. So,
ooh.
Thank you. Hey, Will, you're right. So yeah, that looks rather special. So, so what have you been up to?
Well,
being ill and soiling yourself.
Well, I watched something very interesting over the weekend. So I'm going to get the name wrong, I know I am. But I watched a documentary that was filmed some years ago, but they're showing it because I have a certain satellite dish on the side of my house. And I see it come up, and I thought, well, I'll watch that. It's a documentary about Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. So the documentary has come out, and it has special interviews with him that they show, and the people around him, and they even had the interview with his grandson. And I found it very, very interesting because he couldn't live with the guilt with what he had done. And even before the Hiroshima bomb went off, he was wringing his hands and saying, those poor people, those poor little people, those poor little people. He knew that what was going to go on. He talked about They talked about the man that designed the
Those
H
who
bomb.
don't know, could you tell everybody who Oppenheimer was?
He made the atomic bomb.
He was the head of Project Manhattan Project, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the one that discovered, what was it, fusion? Something fusion?
Yeah, because Einstein was to do with the Manhattan Project as well, though not a lot of people knew that.
Yes. So anyway, so I watched that documentary with a view of going to see the film, but I thought I'd watch the documentary first. And I find this man absolutely fascinating because he does refer to himself as the angel of death. And he was. Because thanks to him, we now have nuclear weapons and all sorts of nuclear stuff.
One of the Nazi guys, who was it? He called himself the Angel of Death.
Was it Mengele?
Yeah.
So so it's a very, very interesting documentary. So if you have the notion, I would fully recommend it. Watch it. Very interesting. Gives an insight into the American bombardment at the time and what was going on there. And again, it's a documentary from the view of the producers and the people that wrote the documentary. But it's a view that I think everybody should watch. You know, they go on about how bad Putin is, how bad the American government is, how bad our government is. But watch this documentary because it really does give you something to think about.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, as recommended by a young lady here. What can I do for you, young lady? You've already nicked me chicken off my plate. Don't roll around on the floor.
John's had mistake tonight.
He's had steak.
Mm.
I'm not a fan of steak. I like chicken.
I like a bit of rump.
I've heard.
I like a bit of rump, lots of fat. But I couldn't even eat that. I couldn't even eat that tonight. So I know something else that likes rumps, and that is chupacabras.
What? See, there's two types of chupacabras. There's the South American one and there's the Texas border one. But the Texas border one has been proved to be a hybrid of the Mexican grey wolf and the coyote with a really long muzzle. But the South American one is like possibly aliens. I'm not sure, but very possible.
But it's what they're doing to these carcasses and things that they're finding that they're blaming the chupacabras on, which I find quite interesting.
What, you mean the cattle mutilations?
It's not all just alien, like just coming from the spaceship. I think some of it is chupacabra-ish, isn't it?
It is, but it's like a chip. I've just seen Joe's comment. Chupawatties.
Chupawatties.
Chupacabra. Look up chupacabra. Well, it's called the goat sucker, isn't it, in South America because of the pinpoint things. But the cattle mutilations that are coming out at the moment is like their fannies and their buttholes have been cut out with a laser or they've been cored.
Yeah.
And things like that.
But I read something on the internet that was quite disturbing, actually. It was some time ago, no doubt taken down. But they were finding bodies, human bodies, where dead ones. They were finding these people that when they did the post-mortems to see how they died, like everything on the inside, all the organs, everything, all the blood, gone.
They had that at Skinwalker Ranch as well, didn't they?
Like from humans, though. But they're finding humans just like there's no holes, no pinpricks, no injection mark, nothing. They're just, and when the post-mortem's done, it's like they've been drained.
No evidence of any enzymes that could have done it.
Well, where would those enzymes come from and why? And if it was, surely it'd just be 1 in a million, but they're finding out quite a few. They're finding a few of them. And the last one that they were reporting on was a man that they'd found just lying there like he was sleeping. But when they realised he was dead, called in the people, like he picked his body up and he weighed nothing because everything was gone.
Was his skeletal structure still there? Or
yeah, the skeletal structure was still there, but it's like he'd been sucked dry. Not like that.
No. What a way to go! Oh. So where is this then?
I think that was in South America. The last one the one that I'd read. But they're finding them all over the place. The thing that I was watching on the internet that was saying that they'd found them sporadically all over the place, not just men, women as well. I don't know about children. They didn't mention children.
Well, I'll talk of UFOs. Did you see that? Is it the 23rd today?
The what?
The date today. Hang on, let me just check the date.
24th.
Yesterday. The US Senate, they sent people down to that Air Force base to go and get answers on the UFO thing and see all the evidence and this, that, and the other, and they were stonewalled and not given anything.
Really?
They turned on the Senate and said, no, you're not having it. And now that RAF base, USAF base, and the is it the security, whatever their security agency is in deep shit with the Senate because they stonewalled and blocked them the whole way. And these two people came back, stood at the White House thing and did a live statement saying, well, they stonewalled us, they blocked us, they wouldn't let us have anything. And they told me they didn't believe in it.
So all these theories that were out there to say that there was something higher than the US government operating these things has just proved to be right.
It's corrupt. Everything's corrupt. You know, it used to be back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, without being racist, all the African nations and states and governments were all corrupt. South Africa, everything. My dad was in the SAS fighting over there in all the white wars that going on. And now it seems that about the only government in this world that is not corrupt is perhaps Norway. I believe there's a little bit in there. But the Norwegians are the most happiest people and got the best wages and the best working hours, you know. But
that's because they're all saying skål and drinking lager. Skål lager.
Skål. Have you? Oh, the adverts for Skoda on the TV get on my nipples because it's meant to be pronounced Skoda, but you got some Scottish woman. This is no offense, Lois, going Skoda, and it's just like shut up. What are you doing? Shut up.
We should get Lois to say that.
I love it when she's on a show and she gets tired and all I can hear is hoots mundas juice loose about this hoose, and I'm like,
what?
With the wee badger handbag.
Somebody's off to Norway.
Somebody's off to Norway. Is it Norway or are they from Yorkshire and going, Norway?
Norway.
Like Mark says, makes my nipples itch. Yeah, it does. It does.
Oh, it's Lois. It's got to be Lolo.
Yes, Lois. There's a moose loose.
Friday night, Lois, you have to say Skoda at least 5 times. 5 times you've got to say it during the course of the show on Friday.
It's just like when I heard it, and there's this Scottish woman from no offense to any Scottish people, the Edinburgh accent, the posh Edinburgh accent, I find irritating, very condescending. You know, oh really, you know, and then you got one of them saying, Skoda, the fuck off.
But it's when you got Lois that you can't understand what she's saying, the proper Glaswegian accent.
You know, when we did the show and we killed Grizzly.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see it?
No, I heard about it.
It was me. I killed Grizzly. But at the beginning of the show, when Lois was talking, I was going... And they were going, what are you doing? Oh, I'm translating for Lois. I drive a Skoda for work. So, yeah. But right, moving swiftly on. Another thing, I got sent an interesting video about today. Actually, Wayne sent it to me. It's about the LGBTQ fucking XYZ community. You know their flag?
Yes.
You know their flag's changed significantly.
Has it?
Yeah, it's got like chevrons and fuck this and fuck that and fuck this and an umbrella for sex workers and everything. And apparently the proper LGBT community is sick of it because it's the the ones who do the I'm not a man, I'm not a lady, where do I pee? Those ones.
All right.
Yeah, they're the ones who are like make it very, very, very bad for the LGBT community, and it's now apparently promoting gay bashing and queer bashing and all that stuff. So, I'm sorry, but to the LGBT community, what did you expect when you invited these people into your community?
Well, it's funny because my son has come out. It's been out quite a few years and settled down with a very nice boy. And he used to have the sandwich van that used to turn up at his work. It's Marks and Spencer's sandwich van, the posh one.
Yeah.
And he stopped buying from that sandwich van because they put the LGBT sandwich on the van. So all the packaging had the rainbow. Nothing to do with the NHS. It was all to do with the LGBT. And he said, it was just a sandwich. Just go and buy a sandwich. And he said, no, I am what I am, and I don't need it splashed all over the place and to be made to be ridiculed. Because that's how he sees it. So he boycotted the sandwich van because of what they were putting on their sandwiches.
I don't blame him. I've got quite a few friends who are either gay, lesbian, or bi, and they're all the same. They don't agree with having a nearly a whole year of pride. Like, so fucking what? You're gay?
Yeah, as Sarah says, like LGBT, because there's some other T that not all transsexuals are in that category. It's only just a handful that spoil it for so many others. It's just ridiculous.
It is, but they're starting to get higher up in with the government and everything, and their little things, and they're starting to get noticed, and it's making it really bad for that community. I mean, I'm not gay. I don't promote gay rights or anything like that. If you're gay, you're gay. If you're bi, you're bi. If you're straight, you're straight.
You are what you are. Yeah.
If you're good to me and my family and my friends, that's all that matters. I don't care what you are. But these ones that stand there and go into meltdowns and scream and shout and rant and rave, they're the ones you need to watch out for. They're the ones who need to be out of it. So
exactly.
I needed to say that.
Well, Terry's got a question. He says, why do we have L lesbian, G gay, but it's not lesbian gay, and you don't have homosexual? I think he means homosexual.
Lesbian is gay, but they don't like. Dude, yeah, he's got a point there. Why is it LGB, lesbian, gay? Because lesbians are gay, and although gays aren't lesbians.
No.
Shouldn't it be LGBT, lesbian, queer, bi, trans?
Who knows?
I hope we don't go to war with the handbags.
No, I'd go to war with my shoes. Take your shoes off. Just take a shoe off and batter somebody with it. You get better results because you have more control with the shoe.
You do. Do you know one of the things that pissed me off about the Pride parades is I get it was underground. It was frowned upon. You were murdered. You were killed. You were ostracized for hundreds of years. I get that. Completely get it. And it's still in parts of the Middle East and Africa. You're still getting it now. But in the rest of the world, where the rest of the world's gone, yeah, all right, you're gay. Crack on with it. I understand having gay pride days. I understand perhaps weekends, perhaps a week. Why have you got to have months of it? I don't get that. And I don't mean it in a horrible way. Why are there months and months of it? Because the thing that I've noticed about a lot of these pride things now is you've got stuff there where people are taking their whole families and kids. I would never dream of taking my kids there, looking at some of the shit that goes on. And I know that's not the normal gay community that does that. It's these bloody weird troublemaker ones that have come out. That's the ones I don't like, and that's why I don't think there should be months of pride. I mean, if that's the case, can we have a straight pride, please?
Yeah. Sarah's made a really good point. She don't scream it that I'm trans. I'm just trying to live my life, but get upset when I'm called a pedo or a threat to women. I think that is quite sad in the respect that you have a group of people that are in the body that they want to be in, and they get put in this label and get threatened by these outside groups just because of a small splinter cell that want to spoil it for everybody else to live peacefully and live their life. And my heart goes out. to people like that have to live their life in fear, because that really isn't fair. I know what it was like growing up in the 80s and being mixed race and being called Paki, and being spat at and all that sort of thing. That actually did happen. Doesn't happen anymore.
I used to get it because of this.
Yeah.
I really got it because of this. At the end, it's like I said on one of the previous shows, wasn't it? Like, I understand, like, men being born with women's thoughts and women's insides, and women being born with men's thoughts and men's insides, and they need to have the operation to be fully themselves and to be themselves. I get that, completely get that, no problem with that. But as I say, it's the ones who go, I'm not a man, I'm not a woman, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm fucking pansexual, I fuck anything, including teapots. We're the ones going to cause all the trouble. Well, why?
Yeah. I mean, long gone are the days where, your sexuality, your things you were into were kept on the QT, were kept very quiet, kept very private, and it was what it was.
Chronic masturbation, when your hands wear out,
Oh dear. But yeah. And you know what? As Joe says, love is love. Doesn't matter who you love. As long as you don't hurt anyone, does it really matter?
Exactly. I really
apart from if you're in love with ghosts and having relations.
Well, I love my ghost.
No, but sexual relations with people that are not really there.
She's a dog. That's disgusting. That's called bestiality.
No, I'm talking about, people that have boyfriends that are ghosts. And
so when ghost orgasm, I've said it before and I'll say it again, is that ectoplasm?
What is ectoplasm? What is it? And have you seen
it?
What is ectoplasm and have you seen it?
I've only ever seen the Victorian woodcut prints and woodcuts from before, with the women with the...
Well, I've been on this is no lie. I was doing a very serious haunting over a number of years. And on one particular evening, my colleague, Neri, she won't mind me mentioning her, we were in the room and we saw this, not quite blood, but it was like an orangey, sticky substance that appeared on the walls. And so we were touching it, and it was a lot like, how can I explain it? When you get a runny nose and it's not too runny, it's a little bit jellified, and it sort of like does...
Ghost jizz.
Like string, like sticky, the sticky... Right. So it was like that, but it was like orangey in colour. And there was loads of it all over the walls, over the door. It was all over this bloody room. I was just like, we'd been in there 5 minutes before and it weren't there. It's like, what the F is that? So I'm touching it like, oh, it's a bit jelly, it's a bit sticky, and like doing this with it, and you're getting the string in the middle. And she went and put her tongue on it and tasted it off the wall. And she said it tasted salty. So we got, don't laugh, we got tissue and we sort of like washed our hands, came back to see and to show the people of the house, like, what is this stuff on your walls? And it was gone. It was gone. Within 5 minutes, it was gone.
Was there anything on the tissues?
No, because we didn't get the I mean, we washed our hands, we wiped hands on these tissues, washed our hands, nothing on the tissues, nothing at all. It's like it was never there. And I thought, that's fucking weird. I know. But she did it on the wall. She sort of went, yeah, but she went like on the wall and just a little bit on the end of her tongue to taste it. Like to see, I don't know why she did it. And she said, well, it tastes salty. She's going, here, have a taste over there. I'm going, no, I'm not tasting it. But we went out to sort of wash our hands and go and get the owners to say, come in here and have a look at this room and this really ornate posh house. And it was gone. The whole lot gone. It's like it was never there. They thought we were lying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But it was all over the walls, honestly. It was crazy. All over the window frames as well.
Well, I suppose if he's dead, whoever the ghost is, it must have been a few years since he last.
But why would it be orange in colour?
He's crossed over. Perhaps you can have whatever colour you want. Look, this week I'll mostly be shooting orange cum. And that was from the Fast Show. That was Jesse, not somebody else. I mean, hey.
Yeah. Just reading Sarah's. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It takes years and years and years, and they go through so much as well. It's awful.
And they have to have all the psychiatrists and everything. So, they don't do it just for the hell of it, unless of course you're Kardashian. Sorry, but fuck it. Bruce Jenner. No, that was all done for publicity because he's on about being put back again, isn't he?
Well, honestly, Joe, honestly, if I couldn't believe what I was seeing when she went to lick it to see what it was, because I was doing that, and you can see it just looked
Willy Wonka. Don't you mean a wonky Willy?
So if you see anything strange, don't forget to lick it.
Don't listen to her. No, don't lick it. Unless Ghost has been drinking pineapple juice for a couple of weeks, don't.
We did, not on that occasion, but when it appeared again, we did get some photos. But they weren't very good photos, so you don't really know what you're looking at. It's a shame we couldn't get a sample of it and send it off somewhere. But where would you send it?
Well, it's like that. Do they call it angel jelly that appears sometimes after UFO sightings?
I don't know, but there is UFO sightings over that house. Seriously,
there's angel jelly that appears as well, and they've had it analysed, and it's organic in nature, and it's got organic compounds in it. They don't know where it comes from, and it's gone the next day. And there's stuff like it's like gossamer spiderweb filaments as well that come down, and again they've had them analysed. They're gone the next day.
Really?
Yep.
I wonder if it was that was a case of that, because they had seen stuff over the house. We'd seen stuff over the house over a period of time. Yeah, they had it all going off, tracking off over there. It was ridiculous. But I must admit, all kudos to Neri, who did lick it to see what it tasted like. I would have done it. Spider-Malian.
Yeah. Except he'd be going. We got to talk about it again because it was such a popular subject. People who think they're going out with ghosts and having sex with ghosts and sex with aliens. Let's just put it out there now. Everybody
right. So, in all the pictures and the drawings, when people say they've seen greys, I'm going to pick out greys.
Hang on, Eric, keep that to yourself, mate. I would keep that to yourself. I wouldn't tell everybody.
Where is the willy on a grey? Because you never see a grey that's got.
Well, the aliens that are supposed to be having sex with these South Americans and these Northern Europeans are supposed to be the Icelandic aliens. I can't remember what bloody place they come from, but the Icelandic ones anyway, and they have fannies and willies and everything like that. But the greys, they think, are either clones, and that they're actually wearing encounter suits. It's not actually their skin, it's encounter suits, because the black things on the eyes come off. They've done autopsies again, allegedly, and they actually peel off, and they're a photosensitive thing. So, but if the greys and things, they just go and make a baby. The other ones, the Icelandic ones, go, hurdy-gurdy, is it good, yeah.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Sit on this, So, yeah.
You sounded like Borat then.
It's nice. You come back, you like anus? You ever see that with Rudy Giuliano? I have man vagina. You come back, you're like anus.
Do you know what? Sacha Baron Cohen, if you're watching, you have to do it.
An alien one. You got to do an alien one. You have. Because some of the things I watch, and I'm like, I mean, I know I'm not afraid to say stuff and things, but fuck it. Some of the things he does, I couldn't do.
I think the man's amazing. But there you go.
I think one of his first ever characters was a gay kickboxer, if I remember rightly.
It's what, gay kickboxer?
Gay kickboxer. I'm sure it was when he first started out. I'm sure one of his first characters was a gay kickboxer, or getaway kickboxer, something like that.
Is that what he modelled Bruno on?
Possibly. Van Damme's first ever movie outing was a gay kickboxer.
That's true. That's true. But no, I can't believe these people are doing things with other entities. I think they're getting caught out, and then it's too easy to blame something that isn't there.
I'm sorry. Can you? You're going to go on national TV and say, yes, I have a very productive sex life with yon lady pirate over there. Yes, every time I hump, I do go straight through to the duvet. But, she said everything's fine. Very cold blowjobs. An ectoplasm comes in very joyfully handy as lube, and my wife doesn't mind at all. No.
Just really? Come off it.
Do you reckon they're having it away with somebody else and whoever else found that and they went, no,
yeah,
no, the ghost. How gullible have you got to be to go, oh, all right.
And then to say, oh, I caught him cheating, so I divorced him. The ghost days. How would you bloody know? Seriously? So that the fella that you was having the affair with decided he doesn't like you and going back to the missus and dumped you, basically. And you've realised how much of a pleb you've been on national TV, so you've got to make up a story.
Can just what the fuck? Sorry. Oh,
so go on. I was going to say, so then it brings it round to incubus and succubus.
I still stand by what I said about them. I reckon back then, because everything was holy and man had written down a set of rules and said, if you don't do this, you're going to burn for eternity, and people believe it. That's why when you had young, teenage and early 20s priests knocking one off and this, that, and the other. And, oh, Jesus, you caught me. Oh, the demon sat on me and just went doing. I couldn't do anything. I had to let him. He said he'd eat my testicles if I didn't. So, okay, she did. He did. It was a threesome. It was a bank crash. I don't know. Sorry, Father.
Yeah.
It's... I reckon that's what a lot of it was. They got caught knocking one off, and it's like, oh, he made me do it.
Yeah.
Like going to the confessional and saying something to the priest, and then the priest just gets back, oh, but Father, I pooped from there. It's just the wrong thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just looking at some of the comments. Yeah.
What? The woman who married the ragdoll cut his tackle off to stop him cheating. Ragdoll.
What, the cat?
What? I don't think she means a ragdoll cat. I think she means like a doll. Fucking ragdoll cat. Meow. Meow. Fucking ragdoll cat.
Oh, God. Oh, God, yeah. No, it's just... There was a woman that did cut fine. Didn't she cut... she caught her old man cheating. She actually caught him cheating, so she did actually cut it off.
Yes,
didn't she? And she went to prison for that, didn't she?
I know there was that film, wasn't it? I Spit on Your Grave. And there was a bit in that where the guys who raped her, she got him in the bathtub.
Yeah,
I remember that. Oof. I remember when that was they unbanned it, and I was just watch the film, see what you think of it, and I watched it, and I was like, to be fair, rough viewing. There was one. I'm not going to go into it. There was one bloke I did feel sorry for because he had issues, but I didn't blame her. But
if you see the uncut version, the first 15 minutes, I remember those.
Rough as hell.
It was, and I remember people getting up and walking out the cinema.
Well, they interviewed the actress, wasn't it? And she said it was all acting, but she did get scared a couple of times.
Yeah. Oh, the woman that cut her husband's willy.
John Wayne Bobbitt. Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
John Wayne Bobbitt had his knob cut off on Wayne Bobbitt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does it not strike me as unusual that Eric knows this stuff?
Eric?
Mm.
Well, Eric, was it Eric that said it? That blood plasma, looks like what I described that was on the walls. But
Yeah,
blood doesn't
plasma
taste.
is a different colour and it's frothy, isn't it?
Yeah, but blood plasma wouldn't taste salty. It would have that metallic taste to it, surely. Like blood does. Blood tastes. How do I know? Because I do used to suck my own blood, but just another story. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All I can say is... Let's just change the subject, shall we? Oh, my cow bag.
Yes. Alien balls. Well,
Yeah.
I suppose they'd be different to sweet and sour chicken balls, wouldn't they?
They glow in the dark green, don't they? Alien balls.
Yeah.
Joe's laughing. Shh. Don't make me spit it out.
But if it's...
Stop it. Stop it. Ann Summers sell them.
Must not do
I
text
must
that thermal paste on my PC and blew it up. I did that with a PS4. I changed the thermal couplings and put thermal paste on it where you're supposed to, and it went, no! That's it. Do you know what? I had Sydney flu once one Christmas, years and years and years ago, back when I was still married. And my ex-wife and I lost a stone of weight in a week each, and all you could taste was the coppery taste of blood all the time. And then after that, I can't drink coffee ever since then, for some strange reason. I can have the old cup, and that's it. I'll get migraines otherwise. And Joe's laughing. I wonder what Joe's laughing at.
Light up the dark ones. Yeah, the glow ones, the ones that glue before they sparkle and let you know something's moving the wall.
Well, Eric's making some of them, isn't he?
Yes, battery operated.
That dragon one that he showed us, that looks very challenging, but I think it'd be very good for investigations. And it's not a cat ball, it's a dragon ball.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
Very challenging to make. So, yeah, all these people who like go around saying that they've... I mean, there's even been things coming out of... You've got the people who say they sleep with aliens. People say they sleep with ghosts. You've got people who said that they slept with elves and gnomes and fuck knows what else. And it's just like... And I'm being serious. I'm not... You know, are these people genuine? Are they having lucid dreams? Are they having wet dreams? Are they on something? Or are they just fucking barking?
Or are they sex maniacs? Because that really is a thing. Like, I think, what was his name? Russell Brand was one of those addicted to...
Yes, he was. He was married to Thingy Bob, wasn't it? Katy Perry.
Katy Perry.
He couldn't keep it in his pants.
He could have had sex with a ghost. You don't know. We'll have to interview him. See if we can get him on the show.
He fucking irritates me. He does. Oh, he irritates me. Like, he fires off. He deliberately uses... He said it himself. He uses long words because most people don't know what they means. And my thing is, if you're going to have a debate with somebody, like most of us here are got above average intelligences, you know, I have, you guys have. So if he fires these words, I'm going to be fucking firing him back, and then I'm going to be like, dude, stop! You with the lovely wavy hair, pack it in. You know, it's sex maniacs. Do sex maniacs exist?
Perverts.
No, sex maniacs.
I'm sure they do.
If you listen to Rachel, apparently I am. But you know,
sex maniacs and perverts, but there's a big difference because perversion, real perversion, is an art
the whole
form.
chicken.
No, it's an art form.
Depends which form of perversion you're talking about.
Proper stuff, not dirt, not fucking. Also, I should say, not not people with long raincoats that go.
Oh, the Flasher Mac Brigade.
Yeah,
no. You're on about yes, master, no master, all that sort of stuff.
No, because there's an art form, isn't it?
I think it depends what you're doing. I don't think I want to know what Viv's up to.
Tom Cruise movie, Nobody Invites Me to Orgies. Eh?
What? Are you on about 50 Shades?
I think he's on about that Eyes Wide Shut, which is
Oh, Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did they talk about vanilla? I like vanilla ice cream with a bit of raspberry ripple sauce on it, you know.
Vanilla, isn't it? That's where you don't experiment. You just like doing it one way all the time.
Missionaries. You do it with missionaries.
So they're really trying to drum the Holy Spirit into you.
People in the church are also into sexual acts as well.
Did you know that Gandhi used to sleep with underage teenage girls to prove that he could remain abstinent from sex? He used to sleep with underage girls. Apparently, he used to wake up like that, but according to people, he never touched them.
But also, didn't the Pope keep whores? I shouldn't say it, but they were whores, prostitutes. He kept prostitutes and paid them, and he actually kept them at the Vatican.
Yeah, that was Pope. That was when the Borgias were in that line. They were called courtesans, weren't they?
And they were, and it then followed suit after that, didn't it? They were allowed. It was written in that they could keep.
Yeah, because it kept the Catholic Church knows damn well that trying to keep all your chaps celibate ain't gonna work. You may get the odd one who's gonna, by the time he dies, he's got very bad vision and cross eyes, but which I feel quite sorry for them because they're there. Your things are there for a reason. But remaining celibate all that time. Yeah, and it's
because you're married to God. Yeah, so you're having sex with God, therefore it's a ghost.
So we're back to the crazy ladies again.
And crazy men. Yes.
Well, it's like when you look at the Roman emperors and some of the stuff they used to get up to, like Caligula. He was messed up. Jesus, he was. I won't say. One of the things I read about him, and I was disgusted, but I mean he was gone.
But didn't if anyone's watched Game of Thrones, Joffrey and what he did with the girls that you saw, that was on a par with Caligula. I wonder if he was in the writer's mind.
Hang on, which bit?
With the arrows and beatings and.
Oh God, yeah. Because he was,
yeah. So Joffrey was sick, and I think so was Caligula.
Caligula was.
He had nice curly hair, though. On his head.
He used to get Christians, and he'd put them up on poles and cover them in burning oils and use them as human torches to light the way down to his residence at night when he was having orgies and parties. So he was
not a well man,
not at all. And then when you look into some of the presidents and prime ministers that we've had and presidents America's had, there's a lot of dark horses out there, a lot of donkeys apparently. So yes. Talking of donkey, says that there's a dildo out there I've seen advertised, and it's called the Angry Dragon. No, I'm sorry, no lady.
Angry Dragon.
The Angry Dragon. No lady in her right mind.
I'm going to Google this.
I don't mean Angry Dragon. I don't mean that one. I mean there's a vibrator called the Angry Dragon or dildo. But don't ever buy it, for God's sake. There's got to be something wrong with you to use that.
Let me look at it.
She's looking at it. Don't go onto Urban Dictionary and type in Angry Dragon because you'll get a completely different metaphor. Have you found it?
Oh, I don't want to go videos. Hang on. my God.
There you go.
I know. I found the dinosaur dildo on Etsy.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
What are people thinking?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
There's two angry dragons, mate. one's a dildo, and the other one is on the back of the head. Yeah.
No. I'd have the angry dragon Eddie Van Halen's dragon guitar. Looks pretty good.
I'll see if I can find it a thing for it later, and I'll send it to you.
I've got. It comes. Oh my God! Squirrel. Oh my God! They've got a squirrel one.
What?
The squirrel penis on Etsy. Really? What are these people? They're sick.
Dear.
No, seriously, this has got to be a joke. I have to show you. We're going to get banned, most probably.
It's too light. Oh, that's interesting.
No, it's wrong. People just don't go there.
I have found the dragon one. I have found a small version of the dragon one. Seeing as we're talking about all sorts of weird and wonderful things.
No, you see, that's tame compared to what I've been looking at.
The normal dragon ones are about that long and about that fat, and they taper up like that.
And you know that they're going to turn these sort of things into ghost hunting gear. You do know that it's going to happen. you can
Eric,
just tell.
No, Eric.
Eric.
No.
Just put a light on one end.
It's a dildo like that with a pair of eyes. Okay.
No, they'll call it. What do they call that? EM pumps.
I've used an EM pump before, and it looked nothing like that.
Well, there's a new version coming out. Eric, get on it.
Oh dear God! Can you imagine that? As seen on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first.
Angry Dragon EM pumps, available from Eric.
I'm not Eric.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear. So anyway, back to the disclosure thing. What do you make of that? There was going to be all this big full disclosure, and now that they've gone and shut the US Senate down, and this Senate, when they were saying we work for the people, we are elected by the people, we work for the people. You work for us, and you have just tried to shut us down.
I think it's a big publicity stunt.
It reminds me of WCW. You know, the bullshit storylines that used to go on in that. Reminds me a bit of that. Why they just can't turn around and go, guess what?
I think all that disclosure stuff is going to come out of Russia. It's all going to come out of Russia, and he'll do it last minute just to fuck the world up.
I do think there is something going on, and you've got this going on that we're all looking at whilst this is going on in the background. I do think there's a lot of smoke screens and stuff going on. Because the last I heard that was the US government was trying to organize a massive strike on Russia, but make it look like they had done something terrible to Kiev, so that they had to step in. And they got called out for that, didn't they? They got called out and told, you ain't fucking doing that. You can't do that.
No.
And I don't know what it is about US presidents. Like the last three, apart was it Obama who didn't want to? But the last three or something, they've all just wanted to go and blow people up. Why?
Yeah, what's all that about? And they're blowing themselves up as well.
Yeah, and it's like, why? We're not slagging off the American people as a whole, because the American people are nice. I've got family that live over there.
Yeah.
But the American government and our government.
It's like war by drone, isn't it, these days?
Well, there was that bridge, wasn't it, in Russia that got blown up by drones, and they were trying to say that Kyiv did it. And from what I can make out, it was either the Russians or Americans that did it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this stuff.
That's the distraction. That this war is the distraction, because while you're looking at this, you're forgetting this. And I think the only people that are going to pay for it is everybody else. I mean, look at all the cost of living crisis, healthcare,
it's like
oil.
Does anybody remember just before the pandemic hit, our government was like there to selling off the NHS and privatizing everything and going the route of America. Then the pandemic hit, and then all the government went, no, the NHS, yes, NHS, we'll never do that. And now it's going straight back to how it was. Weird.
Yeah, our government is stepping in with dental care, aren't they? Supposedly, because there is no such thing as dental care in the NHS now.
I have an NHS dentist.
You can still get appointments.
Yep.
You're lucky.
It's to ring up and get an appointment. It's normally about 6 months. I have to wait about 6 months.
I have to wait about 8 months, and then they can't guarantee the appointment. But then, if I put the phone down, think about it, and ring up and say, "Okay, I'll give me a private appointment," they can do one straight away.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I was just having a look at the comments in there about the culture wars and everything. All this about the thing that's annoyed me about this with Russia and how the energy giants go, oh no, we must put our prices up because of all the Russia cutting off its pipeline. Russia only gave us something like 3%. Was it 3% of the world's gas or 6%? Is it 3 or 6%? I can't remember. It wasn't a massive amount. And then all the energy giants went, oh, money! And then they fucking came out and announced that they had made record profit, and there's all people like us struggling like fuck to be able to pay their energy and make the choice of, do I keep the food frozen in the winter or do I keep warm in the winter? Which do I do? And then they're going, yeah, we've made record profits. Bastards.
Didn't the price of crude oil came down, and it was at an all-time low, but we were paying through the nose again for and a lot of it comes out of Saudi, because I know America does a lot of deals with the Saudi government. George W. Bush was doing it. He started it all off. He's got a lot of money invested over there, I believe. But America produces their own oil anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't know. It's greed. It's greed.
The whole thing's rigged. It's all like you say, greed. Like the big pharma giants. Pharmaceutical giants, the ones who've had cures for various disgusting diseases for so long, it's unbelievable. But they won't ever release it because they make more money with prevention rather than cure.
Didn't they just release, or they've had to release this pill, this new wonder drug that cures dementia?
That's right. Yeah, there's two forms of dementia it cures, isn't it?
But then that will mess people up, because that will mean that people are living longer. They'll make that ridiculous. I can't even get the injections that I was having before. It's just not available on the NHS anymore. And if I wanted to buy it, it's £250 for one injection pen. And I need one every month. I can't afford that.
It's like hay fever tablets. You used to get hay fever tablets on the NHS. Nope. You don't get anything to do with hay fever. You've got to go down the chemist and get it yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely daft. It's this is what I mean when we started the show and we said about all the governments being corrupt. All of the governments, all of their high ups have fingers in the pies of the energy giants, the pharmaceutical giants, and the press. So,
have you noticed though, we had this world pandemic, but just before that, we had an outbreak of SARS. So SARS was going on in the world.
And there was swine flu as well, because I caught swine flu.
Yeah, and that's all gone quiet now, like it doesn't exist anymore. It's all about COVID.
SARS is still going on.
Oh, I take the Osmopic injection. Yeah.
It's so she doesn't turn into Donnie once a month.
Donnie Darko?
Donnie Osmond.
Oh, I thought you meant Donnie Darko, grow ears and hop like a bunny.
To be honest, nothing would surprise me with you, Viv. Like Eric making Angry Dragon Balls.
He's going to do Angry Dragon EM pumps. Angry Dragon.
K2 meter. Can you imagine wandering around investigation with one of those bad boys in your hand? Whoa!
What's that? I must have it. How much did you pay for that? £200? Get me 4. That'd be funny.
Energy rich, and if they were allowed to keep the profits, would be one of the richest nations on the planet.
Okay, thanks, Mary.
Have you seen that?
Yeah. Thanks, Mary. She's a sweetheart, isn't she, Mary? I love Mary.
So, yeah, the show tonight we were going to talk about these things. I'll talk about one of the things I'll go back to, which started at the beginning, was the website that I don't know if those of you who followed our shows, but there was one week Wayne and I did a show about this website about the Chinese Chang'e moonlander.
Yeah,
and it was going along, and on this, and it was an official website, and on this because we followed all the links and made sure it was all real and correct and everything. And there were these pictures of the remains of like fucking thousands of year old buildings and bomb craters and this, that, and the other. And according to this thing, there are the remains of huts, settlements, buildings, whatever you want to call it, staging platforms on the moon. But NASA have been up there and gone, no, we can't have that. We can't have anybody knowing that there's been people before us. So they try to set off strategic bombs to flatten the place to make it just look like rubble. And these pictures were being taken by the Chang'e rover, and they were some corkers, and like a fool. Neither of us took screenshots. We were just like, oh, well, we'll come back and we'll bring this up live on the show, and we were going to do it. And then when we did the show, anything to do with it, every single website, anything to do with it, gone, taken offline, all of it, like it never existed.
I'm just trying to look. See, there's lots of pictures on there now, the Chinese moon landings.
No, this was it was a website. It was a Chinese government website, and it had all these pictures on, and then all of a sudden the whole lot was gone.
Oh wow! They reached the far side of the moon. Is that where the Is that real? Let me show you this. What the hell is that?
Send me the link. I'll have a look. I don't think it is real, but send me the link and I'll have a look. Eric, I only make those by request.
Hang on, how do I share that? All right, I'll just send you the link.
Yeah.
What do you think about India and their space missions that's going on recently?
It's
bonkers, isn't it?
It's been like that. It's been like that.
But they actually launched, didn't they, recently? And it's gone.
Yeah, and there's been so much corruption in that government involved with that. It's been ridiculous.
Can you imagine? Ridiculous. Mr. Singh, one giant leap for mankind, one giant leap for Singh-kind. Oh, sorry, I should have said that. But yeah.
I'm just looking.
It looks like
that's a representation.
Oh, because it looked like an igloo. Yeah,
no, it's meant to be a lunar module, isn't it? If I can find anything else to do with what was found up there, because we searched, and I even went on the dark web, and I don't like using the dark web, but I went on the dark web looking for this stuff with the Chinese rover, and they couldn't even find it on there, which is unusual.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Robert says it's a Teletubbies house. Tinky Winky will be out with his handbag later.
Now, we've already spoken about Tinky Winky involving himself with ghosts. Mm. And
that sun's a bit suspect as well.
Well, that picture that you showed, it was a mock-up.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it says it was a mock-up. It's just a representation of what the Chinese base will look like when they've set it up. Sarah, they're watching you, Mark. They fucking are. When Wayne and I have done some particularly sensitive shows, and various Bobberments have been mentioned, and various departments in Bobberments have been mentioned, and various things they've been getting on with. I don't know if you remember, we had all our comments stopped. Nobody could do the comments. You couldn't jump on anymore. And we had to restart the show.
Yeah,
because they've gone fuck you. So yeah. I don't know. Anyway, on that note, I shall say Bogadiowski. Thank you for stepping in for Mr. Wayne and helping out. Poor bugger, he needs some sleep. But I think we should carry on talking about some of this next week, because it's going to tie in nicely with what's coming on next week. I can't say anything because I don't want to spoil it, but Sam's coming on, and she was talking about a very interesting case, and she couldn't find it. The same thing had happened. Everything had disappeared. And I think I found what she was talking about and sent it to her. I think that's what it was on about. And if it is, it's an interesting case. So, yeah. I have no doubt I shall probably pop on and annoy people in the week. If anybody wants me on there, or Wayne on there, or whatever. Thank you for joining us. We kept it not too bad tonight, apart from going on with that dragon dildos and ghost bonkings. And
I reckon it won't be long before you see one or two out there. So keep your eyes peeled, guys.
What, dragon dildos?
The dragon dildo what did we call them? EM pumps.
Yeah,
I think it will be on.
You know, the person who's going to make it is going to be Eric. If anyone's going to make something as daft as that, it's going to be Eric. He's going to be like, guess what, guys?
I reckon he'll send it to you to try it out. Make sure you do the live videos.
Can you imagine that? Is there anybody there? Oh, dear.
Pretty good for a laugh, though. One of a kind.
You could only do it on private shows, though. You couldn't do it on there. You couldn't do it on public ones, could you? Can you imagine? You use this one, you use that one, you use this one. You look like you know how
on a public event. I want to work with a big one.
No, you've been warned previously.
Send it to Huff. Oh, yes. Oh, I wonder if we'll get voices through it.
Did you see that person did the submersible? They weren't even cold. They weren't even cold. I think it was within a couple of hours of them disappearing. Before they found it, a couple of hours after they disappeared, that idiot came on and did a thing.
Huff won't be using that famous footballer that passed away today. The first one to reach £1 million transfer was an English footballer. Yeah, because he won't know, because he doesn't follow soccer. So he's not as famous enough for him to be using him.
I put him on a par with other supernatural people, purely because of the ego and what we were talking about just before we started the show. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And how... don't even get me started. Don't get me started, because I don't know how you can come out with that crap. I really don't.
Shh. We'll talk about it off air.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you see anything in the skies and you manage to take any videos of it, be sure to send it to us at the Dark Mirror Radio Show at yahoo.com, and I will have a look and I'll try and get it up on the show. That sounded terrible. Dirty. I will. Dirty. I will. I will.
Dirty boy.
Rachel's going to be slapping me stupid, and I will get. I might like that. Yeah, and I'll try and get the video or clips of it up on the show. Send him all the sex toys. He would love it, as he is a wanker.
I love it. I'm sure she means that idiot, not you.
No, I know that. Don't worry, Kelly. I knew you were talking about Huff.
Yeah, I was just telling the others in the chat, just in case they were wondering, you know.
Yeah, Huff. Hang on. There you go. And on that note, we'll see you next week. Like I say, I might see you guys in the week if anybody wants me on. So see you later, and thank you ever so much for joining us. And bye.